Welcome back to Before You Buy the Show, where we give you straight-up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. I'm Jazz Meat, and today we're talking about Samson, Tindallow's story. This comes from a brand new studio called Liquid Swords, founded by one of the co-founders of Avalanche, the team behind Just Cause and the criminally underrated Mad Max game. So yeah, this was immediately on my radar. Now, Samson is an open-world crime sim. But don't let the trailers fool you, this is not a GTA clone. It's much closer to the classic Driver series. You're just a guy, punching people and doing car chases in a grimy, rain-soaked 90s city. It's single-player, mostly linear, and mercifully free of the usual open-world busywork. This style of game, gritty, grounded, action-focused, is usually right up my alley. So I went in excited. Unfortunately, Samson falls a bit short. I really like what it set out to do, but the execution is undercooked, repetitive, messy, not as strong as it could be. There's fun to be had, don't get me wrong, but this isn't a clean, easy recommendation. One thing that absolutely helps Samson right off the bat is the price. It's $25 on Steam. It's not insanely long, maybe 12 to 15 hours for a casual playthrough. The game knows what it is. It's priced appropriately, and I genuinely respect that. Also, looks really damn good. The initial reveal trailers wowed people with the visuals, and the final game running on PC. It delivers. Grimy, atmospheric, full of character. This footage is spoiler-free, by the way. Let's get into the gameplay. It splits into two pillars, on foot and driving. On foot is almost exclusively hand-to-hand combat. The game commits to gritty fisticuffs and improvised weapons, a brick, an occasional bottle, a table leg. You've got light punches, heavy punches, a parry, and a dodge. Weaken an enemy enough, and you can finish them off with a flashy, usually pretty cool, finisher move. You can grab guys and toss them in different directions, often into things like garbage cans, scaffolding, or piles of crates to mess them up even more. Grabbing weapons, a baseball bat, a tire iron, a table leg, gives you a few harder hits before they break. And you can throw those weapons at dudes too. There's also an adrenaline meter. Click both sticks to enter a rage mode that gives you temporary bonus damage. Sounds like a lot, right? And at first, it's genuinely tricky, which is nice. But once you get the hang of it, combat encounters become rinse and repeat. At its best, when it's firing on all cylinders, you grab a dude, throw him into a bunch of crates, then turn around and land a single wind-up haymaker that knocks another guy out cold. Feels fantastic. At its worst, you just spam light attacks until a finisher pops, dodge occasionally, repeat. Some enemies just stand there, spaced out or glitching. Sometimes you have to wander around to find enemies that were supposed to be coming to you. Hits can feel satisfying, but the animations are jerky and weird. Enemies flop around or spin like goofballs. They get stuck in the environment. Controls feel unresponsive at times. I had several instances where Samson just didn't do what I told him to do. Driving fares better. Samson's black American muscle car is pretty badass. It can drift around corners, handles well, has a nitrous boost, and you can actually park and shut off the engine to hide from the cops. A really cool feature. There's also a button to temporarily downshift, which is a nice nod to classic car chases. As a weird car guy, I really appreciated that small touch. You can also do a sideways ram during pursuits. Samson can't carjack people directly, but you can steal parked cars. They're all themed around 90s junkers, fake Toyotas, fake Ford Tauruses, a couple of delivery vans. Not a ton of variety, but it gets the job done. And when you bust up your car and have to grab another, they all still feel capable and fun enough. The driving physics aren't simulation level, but they're arcade in a satisfying way. Now, the actual gameplay loop is interesting in theory. It's a fun experiment. You wake up every day with a limited number of action points. You spend those points on little missions spaced around the map. You have to choose wisely because at the end of each day, you have to pay a debt. Over time, that debt grows. If you underpay, eventually thugs will come to kick your ass every day, and you'll get strikes. The story reason: Samson is a getaway driver who had a big job go wrong. He went to jail, got bailed out, but now he owes money to some very bad people, and they have his sister. The whole game is themed around this looming debt. I love that. It makes you scan the map, look at all the little missions, and decide which are worth the risk. One mission might pay a lot but be a pain in the ass. Another might be a simple beatdown for $900. The problem? The missions get repetitive very quickly. There are only a few things you can really do. Deliveries where you have to make it on time. Car chases where you run dudes off the road. Brawls. Combined versions. Shadowing people. Wandering around environments just looking for items to pick up. Then escaping through a chase. After a while, you'll see the same missions over and over, different name, different location, but the same core activity. I like the idea of action points, debt, ending the day, choosing missions, and trying to squeeze in story missions that don't pay as well. That juggle is genuinely fun, but the repetition bums me out. When I checked my playtime, I realized I had seen everything and done everything a couple of times, over at only 6 hours in. Be prepared for monotony. The game does introduce some tougher enemies and higher payouts later, but for me, it wasn't enough. Even the car chases have rough edges. When you have to ram multiple cars off the road, you have to be really careful where you hit them. It's very easy to bust up your own car. The sense of speed is good, but it's fiddly. I've had my car get completely stuck on a tiny barrier dead stop during a chase. I've clipped telephone poles that looked like you could drive through them, but nope, dead stop. That kind of stuff slows down the fun. But when it's good, it's good. When you hit a perfect boost, drift around a corner, outrun the cops, and hide in an alleyway. That's really effective. It's just that the game has these little finicky things that can pull you out of the moment. And a lot of chases boil down to driving really fast in a straight line until you lose them. Leaves a bit to be desired. I'm being hard on Samson because I'm passionate. I love these styles of games, and I want more from them. For $25, some repetition is okay, and I genuinely love the sandbox. Visually, this game has an incredible identity. It really understands East Coast cities, the grime, the narrow streets, the industrial waterfronts. You quickly become acclimated. You start remembering where the gas stations are, where the repair shop is, where certain missions end up. The world is small. It's not even the whole city, just the southern section. That's going to disappoint some people, but the variety here really worked for me. It's a tight, focused, handcrafted world. Every corner feels deliberate. That familiarity is a strength. Unfortunately, the undercooked nature of the game holds it back from greatness. I had so many missions where my objective was to beat up X number of guys. Some would spawn right in front of my face. Others would just be standing around or stuck in a corner. Sometimes I'd have to wander around the map aimlessly until a guy finally ran up and started punching me. The gameplay loop and mission designs are cool in practice, how the game doles them out, but there are only so many to draw from. You start doing the same thing over and over really quickly. The game does have a level up and skill system. You earn XP through missions, fighting, finding hidden things in the environment, and clicking on points of interest like knocking over little sandwich board advertisements. As you level up, you dump points into different categories. More health, more power, and individual perks. Carrying more healing items. Not losing all your money when you get knocked out. It's a simple skill tree for a simple game, but it's effective. I haven't mentioned the story much, because there's not too much going on. There are story missions to follow, mostly small-town crime stuff with Samson and his old gang. It didn't really hook me. A lot of it felt kitsch, not in a paying homage way, just forgettable. But the world building? That worked. There's this fake drug taking over the streets. The town of Tindalos has a distinct, miserable identity. So, where does that leave us? I like the world. I like the combat sometimes. I like the driving sometimes. I really appreciate what the game is trying to do. But it needed more time in the oven. More variety. More to do. Fewer bugs. Another pass on the story and writing. Still, for some people, the good will outweigh the bad. Just enough. Plus, again, the price point is solid. If you go into Samson expecting the next Grand Theft Auto, you will be disappointed. This is a smaller, scrappier game. It's much closer to the old driver games focused, linear-ish, rough around the edges. If that sounds appealing and you can tolerate some jank and repetition, you might have fun. Just play it in short bursts, because it does get samey after a few hours. Every once in a while, though, when I got into a good old-fashioned fist fight or a nice, clean car chase, no bugs, no glitches, just pure chaos, it made me nostalgic. It reminded me of when we had a lot more games like this. That era of mid-budget, weird, ambitious action games. Samson isn't a classic, but it carries that torch, even if it's flickering. That's a before you buy. Pros, cons, my honest opinion. Now, I want to hear yours. Were you looking forward to Samson? Did you see the trailers and think this was the next GTA? Or have you been following the development more closely, understanding what it is? Maybe this is the first time you're hearing about it. Let me know in the comments. If this video helped inform your purchase, or just helped you pass the time, clicking the like button is all you've got to do. It really helps us out. We appreciate that. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.